HESI A2 Science. Question 1. Which organelle is responsible for ADP production in eukaryotic cells? Ribosome, nucleus, mitochondrion, Golgi apparatus. Mitochondria are known as the powerhouses of the cell because they generate ADP through cellular respiration. Ribosomes synthesize proteins, the nucleus houses DNA, and the Golgi apparatus modifies and packages proteins. Question 2. During which phase of mitosis do sister chromatids separate? Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Sister chromatids separate and are pulled to opposite poles during anaphase. Prophase involves chromosome condensation, metaphase aligns chromosomes at the equator, and telophase reforms the nuclear envelope. Question 3. If a solution has a pH of 3, how would it be classified? Strong base, weak base, neutral, strong acid. A pH of 3 is highly acidic. The pH scale ranges from 0 to 14, with 0 to 6 being acidic, lower numbers equals stronger acid, 7 neutral, and 8 to 14 basic. pH 3 indicates a strong acid. Question 4. Oxygenated blood leaves the heart through which major vessel? Pulmonary artery, superior vena cava, aorta, pulmonary vein. The aorta carries oxygenated blood from the left ventricle to the body. Pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood to lungs, superior vena cava returns deoxygenated blood to heart, pulmonary vein brings oxygenated blood from lungs to heart. Question 5. A patient's blood type is AB negative. Which blood types can they safely receive in a transfusion? Only AB negative. A negative and B negative only. O negative only. AB positive only. AB negative patients can only receive AB negative blood because they have no anti-A or anti-B antibodies but have anti-Rh antibodies. They cannot receive Rh positive blood or other blood types lacking A or B antigens. Question 6. Which of the following is an example of a positive feedback mechanism in the human body? Regulation of blood glucose by insulin. Increase in body temperature during a fever. Blood clotting cascade. Maintenance of blood pressure. Blood clotting is positive feedback because platelets attract more platelets, amplifying the response until clot forms. Blood glucose regulation and blood pressure maintenance are negative feedback. Fever involves both mechanisms. Question 7. What is the primary function of the ribosome? Lipid synthesis, protein synthesis, DNA replication, energy storage. Ribosomes synthesize proteins by translating mRNA into amino acid chains. Lipid synthesis occurs in smooth ER, DNA replication in nucleus, energy storage in fat cells or glycogen. Question 8. Which of the following best describes diffusion? Movement of water across a semi-permeable membrane. Passive movement of molecules from high to low concentration. Active transport using ADP. Movement of ions against their gradient. Diffusion is passive movement from high to low concentration without energy. Water movement is osmosis. Active transport uses ADP and moves against gradient. Question 9. How many chromosomes are found in a typical human somatic cell? 23, 46, 48, 24. Human somatic, body, cells are diploid with 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs. Gametes, sperm/egg, have 23 chromosomes. 48 chromosomes would indicate Down syndrome is not typical. Question 10. Which part of the brain regulates balance and coordination? Cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, hypothalamus. The cerebellum coordinates voluntary movement, balance, and fine motor control. Cerebrum controls conscious thought, medulla controls autonomic functions like breathing, hypothalamus regulates homeostasis. Question 11. An atom has 8 protons, 8 neutrons, and 8 electrons. What is its atomic mass? 8, 16, 24, 32. Atomic mass equals protons plus neutrons equals 8 plus 8 is equal to 16. Electrons have negligible mass. The atomic number is 8, oxygen. Question 12. Which type of bond is formed by the sharing of electrons between atoms? Ionic bond, hydrogen bond, covalent bond, metallic bond. Covalent bonds share electrons between atoms. Ionic bonds transfer electrons, hydrogen bonds are weak intermolecular forces, metallic bonds involve electron C in metals. Question 13. The function of the hypothalamus includes which of the following? Memory formation, regulation of body temperature, visual processing, voluntary muscle movement. Hypothalamus regulates body temperature, hunger, thirst, and pituitary gland function. Memory involves hippocampus, vision involves occipital lobe, voluntary movement involves motor cortex. Question 14. A scientist observes that a certain drug kills bacteria by disrupting their cell walls. This drug would be most effective against which type of microbe? Viruses, fungi, gram-positive bacteria, prion. Gram-positive bacteria have thick peptidoglycan cell walls vulnerable to disruption. Viruses lack cell walls, fungi have different cell wall composition, chitin, prion are proteins without cell walls. Question 15. Which organ produces bile to aid in fat digestion? Gallbladder, pancreas, liver, stomach. The liver produces bile continuously. Gallbladder stores and concentrates bile, pancreas produces digestive enzymes, stomach produces acid and pepsin. Question 16. What happens to a red blood cell placed in a hypertonic solution? It swells and bursts. It remains unchanged. It shrinks, crenates. It actively pumps out salt. In hypertonic solution, water leaves the cell by osmosis, causing shrinkage, crenation. Hypotonic solution causes swelling and bursting. Isotonic solution causes no change. Question 17. Which of the following is not a primary tissue type in the human body? Epithelial, connective, neuralgia, muscle. Neuralgia is not a primary tissue type. The 4 primary types are epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous tissue. Glia are cells within nervous tissue. Question 18. In which part of the nephron does most glucose reabsorption occur? Loop of Henle, collecting duct, proximal convoluted tubule, Bowman's capsule. The proximal convoluted tubule reabsorbs about 99% of filtered glucose via active transport. Loop of Henle reabsorbs water and salts, collecting duct concentrates urine, Bowman's capsule filters blood. Question 19. A DNA strand has the sequence ATGC. What would be the complementary RNA sequence? TACG, UACG, ATGC, GCAT. RNA uses uracil, U, instead of thymine, T. A pairs with U, T pairs with A, G pairs with C. DNA, ATGC becomes RNA, UACG.